Hola y buenos días. Yo soy el señor Morris. Soy el maestro de español. ¿Cómo están ustedes? Today, we'll review the meals that we eat every day and the food groups. And then we'll start to look at the names of some specific foods to see if we can figure out which food group they belong to. So we'll go over that. But let's get started, as we always do, with our opening song. Canten conmigo. Hola, buenos días. ¿Cómo están ustedes? ¿Cómo se sienten? Yo me siento bien. Hey, muy bien cantado. Well, I tell you what, let's go ahead and get started with this question. ¿Tienes hambre? ¿Tienes hambre? And remember, there's a couple of different ways that you could answer that. Teachers, you can go ahead and turn to your class right now and ask your class, ¿Tienes hambre? Go ahead. Okay. And see if your class answers. They might say, Sí, tengo hambre. Or they might say, No, no tengo hambre. Yeah. And students, you can ask each other that too. Now, last class, we started talking about something called alimentos importantes. Okay. Does anyone remember what we were talking about? Alimentos importantes? Okay. We use this to refer to important foods. Let's go ahead and look at the food groups from which you might want to select something to eat. This first group was one of my favorites. There are a lot of foods from this group that I like, and that is frutas. Can everyone say that, please? Frutas. Yeah. Now, if you don't have these into your Spanish notebook already, you might want to be jotting these down today. Frutas. And you can tell that's pretty much a cognate for fruits. How about this one? Verduras. Verduras. Yeah. Here's some lettuce and a carrot and a potato. Do you remember how to say potato in Spanish? I kind of alluded to that when we were talking about the family members. Do you remember? We're going to go over that later. Right now, make sure that you have verduras in your Spanish notebook. And that's another of the food groups that we talked about. A third food group that we talked about is pan y cereal. Pan y cereal. Now, pan refers to bread. Pan is bread, and cereal. Now, cereal can refer to like a bowl of cereal, right? Or it can refer to the cereal grains, oats, wheat, things like that, okay? And that can be, and in this group you might find bread, crackers, tortillas, okay? Those starchy foods. Yeah. Pan y cereal. Make sure you have that in your notebooks. This next group that we looked at is carne y frijoles. Can everyone say that, please? Carne y frijoles. And you see the J, the letter J? That sounds like an H. Frijoles. Frijoles. Yeah. Carne y frijoles. And now this group has a lot of the protein foods in it. And you can see that this includes like a big beef steak, fish, chicken, eggs, and it also includes foods such as peanuts. So peanut butter would be a good protein food from the group of carne y frijoles. And this is frijoles, right down here, beans. And I love beans. And then the last group that we talked about was productos lácteos. Productos lácteos. And remember I talked about lactose, sugar, right? And cheese is in this group, and milk, ice cream, yogurt. And remember we also talked about la vía láctea. Make sure that you have this in your Spanish notebook. Can everyone please read this? Productos lácteos. Well, I tell you what, Now, let's look at some specific foods. Okay, and I'm going to give you the names for these foods, and then I want to see if you guys can figure out which food group they belong to. So we're going to be referring to those groups that we were just talking about. Okay, here's the first one. This is a manzana. Repitan todos. Manzana. Go ahead and get these into your notebooks. And what fruit is this? It's an apple. Kind of give you a hint there, didn't I? What group does it belong to? Frutas. Frutas. A manzana a day keeps the doctor away. Manzana. I like those. Ooh, and I really like these. Naranja. Naranja. Can everyone say that? Naranja. Okay, and you should be able to read these pretty easily. Naranja. Aquí está la J. The J is pronounced like an H again. Naranja. Can you hear that? And remember when we talked about the color, we called it anaranjado. Yeah, so the color and the fruit share a lot of similarities. And what group does this belong to? Did you say frutas? Yeah, that's right, frutas. Ooh, here's something I like. I like to eat this on my cereal. Se llama plátano, or sometimes it will be called a banana. Can you say that? Plátano. You see it's got the accent there. Plátano, or sometimes it's called a banana. Now it's pretty easy to remember. Okay. What group does this food belong to? Can anyone guess? Did you say frutas? That's right, frutas. All right, very good. Here's another food. Oh, I like this one too. I like this in salads and stuff. It's lechuga. Can everyone say that? Lechuga. Okay. Now, lechuga, what is this in English? Lettuce. Lettuce. What food group does this belong to? Verduras. Very good. Verduras. Oh, zanahoria. Zanahoria. Okay. You hear how the Z is almost pronounced like an S? Zanahoria. Okay. These are carrots. What food group do they belong to? Verduras. Verduras. Very good. Okay, here we go. Remember I asked you about this one. This is a potato, in case you can't tell my drawing here. And how do you say potato in Spanish? Papa. Papa. Because remember when we were talking about father, we said papa, with an accent here is father. And I said, be sure not to call your dad a potato. Papa. And what group does it belong to? Verduras. Verduras. That's right. Go ahead and get these into your notes. Ah, pan. Can everyone say that? Pan. That one's pretty easy. Yeah. And this can be made out of several different grains, but what group does it belong to? What food group? Pretty easy. Pan y cereal. Yeah, since it is pan after all. Pan y cereal. Oh, tortilla. Tortilla. Can everyone say that? Tortilla. Yeah, and if you're not familiar with these, they're flat cakes, and they can be made out of corn or out of flour, whole wheat flour. They're really good. And what food group do they belong to? Pan y cereal. Pan y cereal. Get those into your notebooks. Arroz. Arroz. And in case you can't tell from my drawing here, this is rice. Arroz. You get to roll that double R there. Arroz. Now, what food group does this belong to? Well, this is a starch, so it goes into the pan y cereal. Pan y cereal. Yeah. Rice. Oh, here we go. Hojuelas de maíz. Hojuelas de maíz. Can you tell what that is? Cornflakes. Yeah. Hojuelas, flakes, de maíz, of corn. Cornflakes. What group does this belong to? It belongs to the pan y cereal, because it's a cereal. How about this one? Pollo. Yeah, this is a piece of chicken. Pollo. Can you all write that into your notes? Can you say it? Pollo. Okay, what group does it belong to? Carne y frijoles. Carne y frijoles. Meat and beans. Oh, here's a big old beefsteak. Beefsteak. And that almost sounds like English beefsteak, doesn't it? Beefsteak. That's a big old steak. What group does that one belong to? Carne y frijoles. Ah, here we go. I threw this one in here for all of you guys. Hamburguesa. Hamburguesa. You can copy that down into your notes. And now this one really comes from a lot of groups because the bun is from pan y cereal. Lettuce and tomato are, lettuce is verduras. Tomato is actually fruta. The meat is carne y frijoles. And if you have a piece of cheese on there, you've got productos lácteos. So that's hamburguesa. Pescado. Pescado. What is this? A fish. Pescado. Can you say that? Pescado. Very good. And that is carne y frijoles. And of course, frijoles. Frijoles. What group does that belong to? Carne y frijoles. Duh. Leche. Leche is milk. Get that into your notebooks. And what group does it belong to? Productos lácteos. That's right, the milk products. Queso. Queso is cheese. Yum. What group does that belong to? Productos lácteos. Yogurt. 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 Or in English, yogurt. Yeah. And what is that made out of? It's made out of milk. So this is a productos lácteos. And there's one more here. Huevos. Eggs. Yeah. Well, now, can you figure out what group they belong to? They were in the picture for this group. They are a protein food. They go in the carne y frijoles group. All right. Did you get all those down in your notes? Good. Well, I tell you what, please review with this video before we go over our activity sheet. So, presten atención y repitan todos. Las comidas. Hay 5 comidas. La primera comida se llama el desayuno. La segunda comida se llama el almuerzo. La tercera comida se llama la comida. La cuarta comida se llama la merienda. La quinta comida se llama la cena. Alimentos importantes. Hay 5 grupos de alimentos importantes. Frutas, verduras, pan y cereal, carne y frijoles, productos lácteos. Did you recognize that video? Did you know who that was? I'll give you a hint. It's me. Muy bien. Let's go ahead and go over our activity sheet for today. It's called Sí o No. Yeah. Let's see here. Go ahead and start off by writing your name up at the top. Roberto. Roberto. Now, the directions say answer the question with sí or no. And that's pretty easy, pretty straightforward. And the questions are easy too. La manzana es una fruta? La manzana es una fruta? So look at that. Aquí está la manzana. ¿Es una fruta? ¿Sí o no? What you have to do is write over here. Sí. Okay, just answer the question. Remember when you write the word sí to write an accent. If you write the word sí without an accent, that means if. And if you write it with an accent, that means yes. So, be sure when you want to use the word yes, sí, that you write it with an accent. Now, if you look at this activity sheet, it'll help you because it gives you the name. El bistec, el arroz, this is el arroz, la tortilla. Oh, and if you guys haven't ever had tortillas, you should try them. They're really good. Okay? La lechuga, esta es la lechuga. El queso, y el yogurt. Yeah. Okay, so those are the different foods, and today all you have to do is answer the questions there. El bistec es una verdura? ¿Es una verdura? What do you think? Well, today we reviewed the food groups that are important for proper nutrition and looked at some of the individual foods to determine which food group they belong in. Now, next class, we'll decide which food we will eat for which meal. Okay? Because you don't eat every food for every meal, do you? Pero saben que ya es hora de despedirnos. For our goodbye song today, let's sing one of my favorites, De Colores. Canten conmigo. De colores se visten los campos en la primavera. De colores son los pajarillos que vienen de afuera. De colores es el arco iris que vemos lucir, y por eso los grandes amores de muchos colores me gustan a mí, y por eso los grandes amores de muchos colores me gustan a mí. Now we're going to start to sing about some animals. You ready? Canta el gallo con el kiri, 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 kiri. La gallina con el cara, 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 cara. Los polluelos con el pío, 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 pío. Y por eso los grandes amores de muchos colores me gustan a mí. Y por eso los grandes amores de muchos colores me gustan a mí. Good job, guys. Keep practicing what we've been talking about here in class. I'll see you all next time. Until then, adiós y hasta luego.